The England squad announcement 2:00 tomorrow, Danny. But we've tried to steal a march on what Southgate is maybe going to do or not do, and Danny's going to come in now with his 26. So, Danny, as you were on your way in here on public transport, unlike being chauffeur driven by like this man, Reece James, it was confirmed, out of the World Cup. Kyle Walker still in recovery. Is the Trent for England debate now over? It's got to be in, right?
Yeah, I think he'll be in. Even if Kyle's past fit, because the way it looks like Gareth wants to play is 3 centre halves. With Reece James missing, it looks that way.
Okay, so from Maguire, Sterling, does it matter if players aren't going into a major tournament in form?
Well, it's about balance, isn't it? You want the majority of your group playing regularly and in form. There's always going to be 1 or 2 risks you take, and there's always going to be 1 or 2 players you take who you trust and you know what they're about and they've never let you down, so therefore you...
Legacy selections.
You ignore their current predicament, if you like. Maguire being the obvious candidate in that. I think he will go, although he's hardly played, because Gareth trusts him so much and he's never let England down.
Yeah. So how does your 26 look?
Well, 3 keepers pretty obvious: Pickford, Ramsdale and Pope. Mm-hmm. The defenders, I've gone Trippier, Trent. Walker I'd take a risk with because I think he offers so much with his pace and his experience. I've got Maguire, White from Arsenal, Dyer. I'd take Tarkowski ahead of Cody, I think. I think he's more of a presence. I don't think he will. I think he'll take Cody because he knows him and trusts him.
Yeah.
I think Tarkowski's playing better. I'd take John Stones. And the final defender would be a toss-up between Sessegnon or Mitchell from Palace to cover Shaw. Although I think they'd only be going to make the numbers up because I think Trippier would probably play left-back if he had a problem with Shaw anyway.
He loves Trippier.
Either
right.
one of those. But let's say Mitchell because he's chosen him before. Looks like he's probably ahead of Sessegnon in the pecking, although I think Sessegnon's been terrific when he's played for Tottenham.
Okay, Calvin Phillips, is he in there?
Right, midfielders, no. I've not put Phillips in. I don't see how you can.
No.
Because if you're taking a risk with Walker, there's one. You're taking a little bit of a risk with Maguire in terms of he's hardly played, not so much his fitness. There's 2. How many do you want to risk? I mean, Phillips has played... I don't think he's started a match, has he?
Just 10 minutes.
He hasn't played.
Yeah.
He's been injured. I'd take Henderson still. I'd take Rice, obviously. Bellingham, Mount, Gallagher, I'd take from Chelsea ahead of Phillips. Legs, passion, get your goal.
And he's playing.
Maddison, 100%. I'd definitely
Maddison, 100%.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm the most creative English player in the Premier League at the moment.
Do you think Gareth includes Maddison?
I'm not sure. I don't think... It would be a big turnaround for him to do so. Because he's not putting him in any squads recently. And he's been playing like this for quite a long time.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing, isn't it? If he hasn't been featuring, why is he suddenly going to feature when it really matters?
Because he just keeps playing well.
Yeah.
And he keeps being the best player on the pitch nearly every time I see him play. Well, not every time, but a lot of the time. I don't see from a footballing reason why you wouldn't have him. Everything I'm hearing about him, he's a top lad. Yeah, he's had some misdemeanours in the past, as have various other members of the squad. Let's make no bones about that. He has to go. But if he doesn't go, then to me it feels that it's not a football decision. Just something about him he doesn't quite take to.
Uh-huh.
Which is, in football, in life, that happens. Sometimes you don't connect with someone. I had it with certain managers.
You didn't connect. Okay, so crack on.
Sterling, Grealish, Saka. I'd take Wilson and Kane.
Callum Wilson, right.
I'd have Foden, obviously, and I would also add Rashford because he can cover the centre-forward position and he can play wide and he's scoring goals, playing well. And
so who's not in? Ivan Toney?
Toney, Phillips, Tammy. I think Tammy probably will go, even though he's had a poor season. I mean, he's a terrific talent, but Gareth's picked him in all the squads building up. So someone I've picked will probably miss out. It's always, when you get asked these questions, it's what will Gareth do? What do I think?
Yeah.
But that's what I do because there's so much energy, creativity in that team. Every position's covered, and the majority of my players are playing regularly and playing well.
See, I'm looking at some of the reaction that's coming in, and if you want to react to Danny's squad, you can. We'll go over it again in full very, very quickly, very shortly. 81089 for that. As usual, there's one. I'll pick it out, one of many. How, Danny, can you pick Maguire? How can you pick Maguire?
Well, he's the one in there who I think will definitely be in because Gareth will pick him. But if I had complete autonomy on picking the squad, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't?
No.
Who would you pick in his place?
Well, to be honest, that is a problem. I'm going to go back on that.
But
I would take him and not start him.
There's a circle you can't square.
Yeah.
And as far as Maddison's concerned, there's an eternal conundrum. If he's not going to pick Maddison, who's he going to pick in place of Maddison, and what case do we have on that?
Well,
basis?
he could take 3 strikers. He could add Tammy into that and leave Maddison out. And he could justify it in his own head by saying, "Well, I've got Foden, I've got Saka, I've got Grealish, I've got Rashford, I've got whoever."
Mm-hmm. And that takes
Mount.
away that. If he were to put a like for like in there where Maddison plays, who would that be? If he doesn't go, because if he goes down the route of putting another striker in, he negates the argument, doesn't he? He goes, "Well, I didn't pick Maddison because I wanted another striker."
Well,
so he kills that argument.
It depends on how he's going to play. If he's looking at playing a 3-4-3, then Maddison really can only play in the wide
But
position.
who does he pick in place of Maddison?
Well, he doesn't have to pick anyone in place because he hasn't picked him before.
Yeah, but who goes in the absence of public opinion, which is being built up by certain segments of the media? Gary Lineker and the cheerleading gang on Match of the Day talking about that Maddison needs to go into the team. It's irrefutable, it's undeniable, right?
Well,
Who would they say that will take his place if Maddison doesn't get picked, or who would Maddison's place take? You know what I mean?
If he goes without Maddison, he'll feel that formation he plays, he's got enough cover in the wide areas, which is where Maddison's playing now for Leicester.
Yeah.
If he played a 4-3-3, Maddison could easily play as a number 10, if you like. He's got Mount who can do that role, essentially. He's got Grealish who can play in any of those positions. But the way he's set up at the moment, I think, that he's got cover in the wide areas. At the moment for Leicester, Maddison's been playing on the right-hand side. And he's been tucking in and getting in those lovely little number 10 positions. So he can play in that position. And even if Gareth, to me, thinks he shouldn't start because he wants something else in terms of counter-attacking pace or people who can beat people.
He's there as an option.
He's there as an option. And the reason he's there as an option is because the one English player at the moment who can get a ball in a pressurised situation in those tight areas and make something happen.
Yeah. And you think Tammy Abraham gets a nod? He gets in.
Based on previous squads, I would suggest Gareth will take him and take Wilson as well.
He's been struggling a bit. Mind you, Roma have been struggling a lot of Lazio on Sunday. Of
He
all
has.
games, he lost that one.
He has, but...
Mourinho said you should ask him what's the problem with him at the moment. If he's distracted, if he has a problem or he's thinking about the World Cup, ask him.
The only thing is
Mourinho's
with Tammy, although he's not playing particularly well, he's not got the goals return, he's playing okay, is he's quite unique with his size. He's unorthodox. He's somebody you can throw on and cause a real problem for centre-half. So maybe that's why he'll go.
A lot of reaction to it, Danny. Darren, West Brom fan. I think Sessegnon's wrong, Danny, to be included. He's got no upper body strength. International forwards, wingers will mug him off every chance that they get. Many Newcastle fans coming in this morning. Yeah, I'm
watching a different game to me.
He's got it together recently, hasn't he? Gary, a big Newcastle fan. Danny, what about Dan Burn? Physical, set-piece, goal threat, strong, outstanding form. Yeah. Surely because of what he's doing of late, he gets the nod.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing tremendously well. The fact he's never been in a squad before, there'd be the concern about the adaptation from that level to the next one. Sessegnon and Mitchell have both been in England squads at various age groups and have an understanding of tournament football and playing for the... I mean, I think Mitchell's played for the England first team anyway. Sessegnon, I think, as well.
There's Fletch. Grealish, Danny, surely not. A bench player at City being picked for his price tag. Maddison has got to take his place.
Well, I'd have both. I mean, the thing is with Grealish is that he doesn't care who he's playing against. He's one of those players that you can put him on or start him in any game and he'll want the ball, demand it and cause problems. He's not playing the best football of his life. No, I agree.
Mr. Murphy, would you like to go through your 26 again as we head to a break? Just go through it bit by bit, department by department.
Yep. 3 keepers: Pickford, Ramsdale, Pope. Defenders: Trippier, Trent, Kyle Walker, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Ben White, Dyer, Tarkowski, Mitchell and Stones. Midfielders: Henderson, Rice, Bellingham, Mount, Maddison, Gallagher. And then your forwards: Grealish, Sterling, Saka, Rashford, Kane, Wilson, Foden.
Okay, so who's in, who shouldn't be in, who do you want in, who's not in? You know where I'm going with that. 8:10.
Tell you what, I'm glad I'm not a manager.
Oh, I know. What a hell of a job it is. It's 11:15.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.